let's talk about the major changes you'll experience in MineScape 7. There are quite a few that we have implemented, so I'd like to preview some of these. First, the start page has been completely revamped from the ground up. We listened to our users and decided to rebuild the start page. Instead of going through the renovation we did to the start page, a video has been included that details all the improvements we have done on the start page. This video can be seen on the design page of the start page. In general, we broke the start page into 3 pages: design, learn, and library. This way, the user can get right into design work if need be by selecting the recent projects or going to My Projects. Because the start page is much cleaner and better organized with the 3 pages, the user should be able to have a better experience when searching for how-to documents or quick little how-to videos. Once again, please refer to the start page video located on the design page. We now have 3 different themes to select from: classic, gray, and dark. Most people will understand these themes, as Microsoft has instituted these a while ago. Being able to cycle through these themes gives the user a better MineScape experience and seeing their work easier. Once you open up a project, you'll see how these themes will interact with your CAD window. So typically, you'll probably be on the classic theme, but here is the gray theme, and here is the dark theme. Okay, let's look at some strat model visualization. MineScape 6.1.2 gave the users the ability to output their stratigraphic model into thickness prisms or triangles, which in turn improved the visualization of the model. We have also given the users additional backgrounds to choose from to enhance the visualizations. By selecting the cycle background icon, you now have 4 backgrounds to choose from: classic black, white, gradient, which you can adjust, and of course, the standard blue. Instead of referencing structure and thickness contours, along with posting of model data at drill hole locations, we have implemented Strat Prism functionality to look at the model in a different way than usual. We now can visualize a solid fill structure, which also shows the thickness. Due to this improvement in 6.1.2, we needed to include additional visualization tools for MineScape 7. There are now several tools available to visualize and then recall these visualizations for later use. After the strat model prisms are created, you can now apply the following tools to visualize the prisms. These are under the Strat Model plugin, Graphics, Visualize Model Prism Graphics. And you've got these functions to actually slice or look at your current strat model. So we'll look at a few of these. If we select a lasso, we could just draw around what we want to look at. And now if we visualize this, rotate it up and look at it, we've sliced through our strat model using a lasso function. If you want to generate a cross section through here, we can just do an input section. So we'll go across a few drill holes. Rotate that up. So now you've got a section through here. You can look at it. If we try one more, say for example, let's say a round point. So if I want to select around this point right here, now I can look through here. And again, all these are under strat model triangle prisms. And if you notice, they're all in temporary graphics. You can turn them on and off. You can also save these by just right mouse, copy, and or rename and give it a different name. You also have the options to adjust these parameters to meet your needs. So if we go to graphics, visualize, parameters, so you can set these parameters. Like this one, I had it open up at the southeast. So if you notice here, that was opened up at the southeast. So you can adjust these however you would like to adjust the parameter. We have also included tools to effectively visualize a block model. Unlike strap model prisms, which are triangles based on the strap model grid, the block model has a spatial definition already embedded. What we do for block model visualization is to use the block model display parameters already defined for visualization. Under the section default, this is where the parameters are set. Now, if we display the block model visualization using the menu option section, block model visualization, the entire block model would display showing extent boxes. If we rotate, you'll see that there's a section of the block model already sliced in the IJK orientation. So it's already cut. We have also included an icon to start the slicing tools and including functionality that can be accessed by the right mouse button. So there's a button down here to start the block model slicing, or you can go to right mouse, start the model section. And if you notice here, we get the axis. So if I just want to take this and slice it, move the mouse, and then let's say we want to go from the I direction, and maybe we'll want to bring it up in the Z direction or the K. As you can see, anytime you access the slicing function, you can slice in any one of the I, J, K, or planes by just selecting the colored ball and moving your mouse. You can also display the cell edges by right mouse show cell edges. You can also zoom in to get better detail of the subcells. You can see I've got the drill holes on so you can see how to interact with the drill holes. You can also hover over any cell and get all the attributes associated with those values. Like in this example, shows all your quality uh, attributes within that cell. In my testing, I have done a 20 gigabyte block model containing 169 million cells, and MineScape had no issues slicing, rotating, showing the cell detail. I also know that development has tested against a 1 billion cell block model without any issues. Again, if I just right mouse, start the model section, you can just slice and dice however you want to do it. Okay, to turn off these visualizations, all you have to do is go to section, remove, model visualizations. I'll show you our correlation tools within MineScape. Because of the sale of MineScape to Datamine, we now have the ability to access functionality from other Datamine products. One such opportunity was to integrate drill hole correlation directly into MineScape. This functionality has been embedded in the Strat Model plugin. The drill holes must be loaded into a design file for correlation tools to work. Drill holes in a GDB database cannot be accessed within the new correlation tools. The correlation tools available on MineScape 7 will give the user the ability to reassign intervals, easily adjust interval roofs and floors, and add new intervals within the drill hole. All these changes can be saved and written back to the selected drill holes, or the user has the option to reset and not save. The user has total control of how the data will be displayed at any time, and additional drill holes can be selected and added to the current display list. So if I select some drill holes, start up the correlation tools, and you can see that it started up in its own window, and I can actually do a vertical tab group in this, so I can see the drill holes that are selected. So I can make this window a little bit smaller. Okay, so these are the 3 drill holes selected, and as you can see, typically what will happen is the user will move these correlation tools into a window and onto an external monitor, so you get full CAD and you get full correlation window. You can view the drill hole data on any datum that you wish. You can zoom in and zoom out to get so you can get in and look at the information within the drill holes. You can see I'm showing depth, lithology, zone, the type, and the elevation. And down here at the bottom, it tells you distance apart these drill holes are. So if you hit the space bar, you can see that these are relative to the distance apart for each hole. And if you just toggle it back, it just collapses the drill holes. So I can actually, there's 2 modes, view and seam adjustment. So if I select the view, I can hang it on any datum. Here I lined it up with this interval low B. I can actually line it up on drill hole depth, pick mid A, pan this down, let's hang it on mid A. So you have total control over that. You can also adjust the thicknesses of these intervals. So if I wanted to adjust tough M interval, I can do a seam adjustment and just take the left button and adjust these by holding it down, the thickness. And if you don't like it, you can always hit reset. Okay, it just takes it back to where you were. You can also add other drill holes. If I want to just add another drill hole, now I've added that 4th drill hole to it. And I can still zoom in. You can also change, you can add an interval. This is reading from the schema, but if I do a seam adjustment, I can go ahead and add an interval. Let's add an interval JDS, add it. So I want to take JDS and I'm just going to replace BA with JDS. Just as simple as that. I can adjust the thickness for this if I wanted to. If you don't like it, you can always come back to reset. Okay, now you could also, if I just close this window and I still have those 4 selected, okay, I'll select these 4 holes again. And then if I just do the correlation, and you'll see that the window comes up in a bigger window, and you can just bounce back and forth between these windows if you had to. You can also, if you right mouse here, you can open the properties. If you notice here, I can move my columns around in this. I have them in this particular order. I can move them around however I want to move them around. If I want to change, say, the zone text, I can come down here, select zone text, and let's make that a little bigger. So you can see that it got bigger. You can also do a print preview. So you can print these also. So it's really, we've got some pretty good tools in here for version 1.0 of correlation. And we're just waiting for some feedback from the users. When MineScape was released in February 2018, we implemented functionality to easily produce PDF files. Since then, and many updates later, we have implemented major enhancements and improvements to Plot Designer within MineScape 7. This version of Plot Designer has been completely enhanced. We are very confident that the Plot Designer can easily replace PlotSlot and make it much easier and efficient for users to edit or create a plot. Some of the major enhancements are design an easily constructed title block and save it as a template for use in other plot designs. Legends can now be generated directly in Plot Designer. Easily merge cells for text and images. Easily include images. Access other user-defined variables in the plot design for text replacement in plots. Easily add and adjust viewports for displaying data. Easily cut and paste Excel information, including chart images. Display and plot triangles, even when using visual overrides. Aerial photographs can easily be included and printed to PDF. PDF file supports all the visualizations within MineScape. TrueType fonts are available. And there's PlotSlot to Plot Designer Converter has been refined and can be accessed under File Convert. A separate video will be included on the start page to go into more detail about all the newly included enhancements for MineScape 7 Plot Designer. Okay, to create a plot design, select the quick key icon and either select an already created plot design or create a new plot design using the wizard. After opening, a plot design window is created, and now you can create your design or adjust a previously created design. A blank design will be opened, I'll show you, and we'll add some elements to it. So if we use the quick key launch plot designer, you'll see I have a blank and I also have a template that I've saved. So we'll go into the blank. So just double click the blank. You can give it a plot file name. And you give it a description if you like. I'm going to change this to my initials. I'm going to go next. I'm going to select a size sheet I want, landscape. Next, and I'm going to add a north arrow and scale bar right now. As you can see, a blank sheet opens up, and it's as easy as grabbing a hold of your layers that you want to put in the plot design if you don't want to do anything else. So I'm going to do like the middle A roof contour. So I can click on it, or you can drag and drop. So there's the middle A contour. And I also probably want to turn on my drill holes. So just click on that. I'll turn on annotation. So there's my annotation. I can give it a scale, say 15,000. And there's a scale bar here. I can just show the variable. And if I zoom in, okay, and I'll do a fit. Make sure my scale's good. I'm going to change this north arrow. I always like to put my north arrow on this side. I'll make it bigger. I'm going to just change the north arrow I want to use. So there's a north arrow. So it's as easy as that. If I do a preview, this is what it's going to look like. I can actually print this and send it right to a PDF. Now, if I wanted to put a title block on there, we have some icons up here to create the title block. So if I create, you'll see this, a 9x4, and I'm just going to anchor it. Okay. And I'll just start adjusting some of these rows. Like I'm going to merge this as an example. You can merge cells. I want to actually merge these two. I'll merge this one. So that looks pretty good. You can adjust the columns if you want to. So there's a title block. I can now put text in this as an example. So I'll create a subcontainer called text, and I'll just open it up. I'm going to use these user-defined variables just so I can show you. Make these a little bigger. Now, these are user-defined variables. So if I just go hit this icon, plotting variables, I could say this is middle A roof. And then if I just toggle this, it automatically adjusts this. Like here I want to make another text container. I'm going to put my address in there, and I'm just going to cut and paste. A little too big. And then this one I want to put I have an icon or an image I want to use, so I'll create an image container. I'll just grab my image. So there's a quick text box. I can actually save this as a template if I wanted to, just by doing a file save as. And you can have it a template, plot file, a plot template, or a title block template. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to save that. I'll just do a print preview, see how it looks. It's ready to go. You can also use a control zoom, so you can zoom in. You can pan this window. You could do a fit to the window, and that's all set up under your environment plot designer. And I uncheck keep paper centered on screen, so I can do that. And I can always get back here and get my scale right. Everything looks good, and I can save this. So it's as easy as building. That's as easy as building a new one. I'm going to say no to save this. So what I can do is just open up a plot design again, one that I have already created as a template. So I can give it a different name, test 02, create. So there's a template, and if I show hide variables, you won't see them all. So I have to actually go change these because it doesn't know this is a template. Contours. So it fills this out. I'll just zoom in so you can see how it looks right there. And if I zoom back out, fit. Make that a little bit bigger. And this scale bar and this north arrow are linked to this data. So if I rotate the data, you can see the north arrow changing. I didn't lock my scale because I didn't need to. I can pan it around. I can save that, or I can print it. print preview, and I noticed I didn't have my annotations on, which is a great thing to print preview. I can turn my annotations on and I can go ahead and print this. So it's just that easy to do, plot designers. And again, you just hit the print button and that's going to send it directly to PDF. So there's my PDF file. One last thing with Plot Designer. We've created some functionality to do batch plotting. After a plot design has been created, there is now functionality to generate multiple plots using the plot design template chosen. This is very useful when having to generate many maps for PDF output. We have made it extremely easy for the user to change layers and text within the selected plot design template and generate multiple plot files. All you do is open the batch plotting specification or just create a new specification. You set the plot designer template you want to use, and then MineScape will search the plot design for all the information that can be changed. It's important to have a consistent naming convention when generating layers so you can easily replace layers within batch plotting in this particular version. In my example, I used the multi-contouring functionality to generate structure layers and quality layers. That way, I can easily use them in batch plotting if required. To do batch plotting, open the folder batch plotting and then either create a new spec or open an existing plotting specification. So first I'm going to show you which plot designer I'm going to use. I called it Demo 1. So I'll open it up and let you so you can see how it's built. And if I toggle this, you can see the descriptions being changed. So if I just open up batch plotting, and I've created one called Demo Batch Structure. So if I just edit this, and there's a form that comes up, and the first thing it's asking for is what do you want to call it? What's your reference plot file? And this is the reference plot file I'm showing. And what it asks you for is a schema. In this case, I want to use all these intervals, and I'm going to replace it with this text. And it's telling me right now it's going to generate 8 plots. The layer that's in the current plot design and what I want to replace it with. And notice we've included these variables. In this case, batch interval. Batch interval refers to this interval right there. So I'm going to replace that layer with multiple layers. What it also, as I mentioned earlier, it goes through your plot design and it looks for anything that you can change by whatever container it is. So I'm going to change the name of my map. I'm going to change the plot file name. And then I'm also going to output it based on an interval and roof contour, as in this example. So what you would do then is just hit OK or apply. It will generate 8 plots based on this particular template. And if you look over here, and I did the middle A, so if I look at, say, the low A roof contour, there's the low A roof contour. So it just replaced all these, the middle A with low A roof. So it went through and it searched in your plot design based on the specification you gave it. And if I open this once more, if you look, you can do both quality and intervals. So you set the schema and you set your quality model, and it will search your design files and layers for information based on your plot design template.